Okay, here we go. Saluer, saluer la société. I really wish I could hear and see you right now, but it's great to have the chat. Good evening. I'm Kera Washington, director of Yanvalou Drum and Dance Ensemble and class of 93. Tonight's virtue formance, Yanvalou Combit, 30 pour 30, 30 people representing 30 years, is a project we began last spring after our in-person learning stopped and we continued meeting on Zoom, dancing and singing and drumming on tables and glasses in our homes. We continued connecting over the summer, rehearsing mostly on Zoom with Peniel and Isaura, our choreographers, but one small group that was living in Boston met briefly one day at Jamaica Plain Pond with masks and with Isaura and recorded ourselves for this project. While we've missed Jewett Auditorium and we've missed each other in person, we also realized that meeting online would allow us different possibilities than would be possible if we were in Jewett. We could have rehearsals with alums, so we've called you to join us. Students could be videographers and record what they wanted to include, including their inside and outside surroundings. But most of all, we could still connect with and support each other wherever we are, in Brazil, in Puerto Rico, in Portland, Seattle, New Jersey, New York, in Fort Lauderdale, in Miami, in Boston, in Wellesley. 30 years ago, Yanvalou was founded out of one of the best Wellesley College opportunities, the connections students can make with their professors to create, to realize, to live their visions. 30 years ago, I wanted to learn how to drum and more about the musics of Black people. And out of that desire, Professor Emeritus Gerdes Florent introduced me and Wellesley to the discipline of ethnomusicology, and we co-founded Yanvalou with a mission it continues to have today, to enrich the Wellesley College community with the aesthetics of Africa as they exist today throughout the diaspora, particularly in Haiti and in her sibling cultures. Through this virtue formance project, our goal was to create a space that kept us going through this strange time and to be able to celebrate our 30 years. This largely student-led vision, supported by CLCE, was put together masterfully by local film editor, videographer Kenny Lubo. We recorded some of the audio in the spring at George Trixack's Bop Stop Studios and some on Zoom, and some of us recorded in our homes. This period of time for some of us has been in many ways, just like a few minutes ago, about waiting, then hurrying up and then waiting some more. Since we began this project in the spring of this year, we've been both wanting to share this virtue formance with you and continuing to work on it for a long time. The recording took a long time and great effort, more effort than if we were in Jewett. The editing took a long time and great effort. And then it was hurry up because the live stream will be tomorrow. But unlike our dress rehearsals in Jewett, which are often like that, our choreographers haven't been there every step of the way to keep perfecting us and our representations. In this performance, students took on much more agency in the artistic and creative representations. This is their performance. Taking what we teachers, instructors, cultural consultants shared with them about the rhythms dance called Yanvalou, the invocation and honoring of all our ancestors, about Omolu, the Orisha or spiritual entity, the ancestor of healing, diseases, and dis-ease of the land, and his rhythm Opanije, about Yemaja, healing mother, the ocean, and rhythms played to honor her, about the Ghanaian rhythms of Panlogo and Haitian contra dance and Igbo's dance of freedom, what students, alums learned about the movements and dances, the rhythms, the songs they've integrated into what they've been thinking about and needed to get through this time of pandemic and focus on increasing racial justice for Black people in this country. This is not our choreographers, Peniel's or Isaura's or Harrison's ideal performance, focusing on perfecting our form and technique in folkloric and traditional dance and music, or even mine. This is Yanvalou's performance. And everyone has a solo. And they've invited their teachers, their mentors, their alum siblings along to help them create this home space, and you to witness it and to participate tonight. Our performance is a combit, a gathering. A combit, a term included in Haitian author Jacques Romain's piece, translated by Langston Hughes and Mercer Cook as Masters of the Do. It's a group, a cooperative labor group, a whole bunch of folks you call to help you accomplish a great task. In its original form, to clear land or build an irrigation system, here to help us create something we'd never tried before. We thank all those who came to help us accomplish this task, including alums from 03, 04, 14, 16, 19, 20, and any years I've forgotten in between. We include our instructors, choreographers who met tirelessly with us each week to keep us going. We include musicians I play with in my band, Zili Misik. We include our support systems at Wellesley and the music department, the Department of Africana Studies, and beyond. And most of all, we include our co-founder, Professor Emeritus Gerdes Florent, without whom we could not exist. Yanvalou Kombit, a virtueformance of 30 people representing 30 years, is about 40 minutes long. Although technology is not always our friend, we will continue to attempt to combine live, remote, and recorded media. And although we probably won't get to see him right now, technology, we will hear him live. And you'll see a beautiful image of our co-founder and Wellesley students on the winter session trip to Haiti in 2019. So we begin this evening, as we should, with Professor Florent, Papi Toto himself. Amen, Ashe, Aibobo.
Seibo evidaume, Seibo evida naide, mueji Seibo evidaume, Seibo evida naide, nambala vie saligueto. Lambala vie saligueto egi se agause ago les sagons des loyaux. Seibo evida naide ago les sagons des loyaux. Seibo evida naide. Aïe bobo.
In the presence of our all-powerful, all-knowing, and all-present Creator, by whatever name you call it, we pour. Ashe. In the presence of our celestial ancestors, known to some as Orisha, known to some as angels, we pour. Ashe. In the presence of our ancient ancestors, we pray, we pour. Ashe. In the presence of our ancestors who died during the Middle Passage, we pour. Ashe. We pour for our universal and our personal ancestors. We pour. Ashe. We pour to welcome the present moment. We pour. Ashe. We pour for our future generations, so one day they may pour for us. We pour. We pour for the four elements and the life they all combine and make. We pour. Ashe. We pour for each individual and any issues you may be facing. We pour. Ashe.
l'esprit fort, narré loi. Loi Yanvalou, qui escape, j'étais de loi pour yo. Relais l'esprit fort. Par yo la vie pour moi. Loi, elle est loi. Loi, elle est loi. Loi, l'esprit fort, narré les lois. Loi Yanvalou, qui escape, j'étais de loi pour yo. Relais l'esprit fort, par yo la vie pour moi.
Abolition is about presence, not absence. It's about building life-affirming institutions. Quote by Ruth Wilson Gilmore.
Don't let anyone tell you that you can't be passionate about something because of the color of your skin or your gender. It's your passion. Quote by Condoleezza Rice.
Regret, it's fear in reverse, while love is courage projected forward. So whatever you do every day, I hope that you lead with love.
Quantos mais vão precisar morrer para que essa guerra acabe?
How many more will need to die for this war to end? Marielle Franco.
Dance means liberation and being able to use your body to create a sense of place no matter where you are.
Let this moment radicalize you rather than lead you to despair. Quote from Miriam Kaba, prison abolitionist and educator.
Honorable, honor rebel. The honorable must rebel, and we must honor the rebels.
And as our comrade Angela Davis says, Black radical unity. It is anti-capitalist, anti-colonial, anti-imperial, anti-patriarchy, anti-racist, and it centers the Black radical tradition. It recognizes that revolution is not only necessary, but it is here and it will continue. We also stand in solidarity with the fight for liberation across the globe. Black radical unity.
Oh, Panige, Atoto. Oh, Panige, Atoto. Atoto, Azamani. Atoto, Azamani. Oh, Panige, oh, Panige, oh, Panige. Oh, Panige, oh, Panige, oh, Panige. Oh, Panige, Atoto. Oh, Panige, Atoto. Atoto, Azamani. Atoto, Azamani.
Opanije, opanije, opanije. Opanije, opanije, opanije.
In my mind, Yanvalou is at its core about connection. When we dance or sing or drum, we connect ourselves to a centuries-old tradition of justice, of strength, and of liberation. I feel this most strongly when I dance. In connecting myself with others through movement, there are moments where I feel at once light and deeply cemented in something much more profound than my individual experience.
We aren't the first generation to rise up and demand Black liberation now, and we won't be the last. But I do know that a better world is possible, and it is here, and we are powerful beyond imagination.
Iemanjá Ogum Tecoaleo, Olorum Coaleo, Olorum Coaleo, Olorum Coaleo.
We drum for the ancestors, the rebels, the warriors, the griots, the pirates, the blacksmiths, the farmers, the nomads, and us. We sing for all those forgotten and unprotected. We dance for those who cannot love or live as themselves freely. We drum for all those who are in prison or on the streets, and for the water, for the earth. We dance for all those who have fought and died in the struggle for freedom. We drum for all power to the people. We drum for revolution. We drum for Black power and Black autonomy. We drum for Black liberation. Aibobo.
Movement, to me, means refusing to be restricted and loving to be held. Movement to me means respecting my body. Movement means honoring my body. Movement means everything.
The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown, but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, where the caged bird sings of freedom.
Movement means the wind and the water and the magma that boils beneath our feet. Movement means life.
chovio, papa salue. Salue chovio, papa salue. Salue, papa salue. Salue, papa salue. Salue chovio, papa salue. Salue chovio, papa salue. Papa salue. Salue, papa salue. Salue chovio, papa salue. Salue chovio, papa salue. Salue, papa salue. Salue, papa salue. Salue chovio, papa salue. Salue chovio, papa salue. Salue, papa salue. Salue, papa salue. Salue chovio, papa salue. Salue chovio, papa salue. Salue, papa salue. Salue, papa salue. Salue chovio, papa salue. Salue chovio, papa salue.
Juan Alberto González Ordóñez, Rosa Victoria Jiménez Espinosa, Ramón Cerezo, Irene Yolanda Cerezo Galarza. Los nombres de mis antepasados de raíces afrocolombianas y de conquistadores europeos. Digo sus nombres para recordarlos, so they know I honor them. In the past weeks, I've become curious of my own racist, familial history. Why the Afro-Colombian men always fell in love with white women. Why I have white as my skin color, because the minds of my ancestors were colonized. I recognize today that society has put me in a place of privilege. It is my time to use that privilege to amplify Black narratives, experiences, to dismantle white supremacy, the very system that put me in a position of privilege. Today, aunque mi piel es más blanca que negra, por dentro mi sangre trae la fuerza de libertad, que al bailar, cantar y tocar ritmos de raíces africanas hierve con saber que gente negra sigue discriminada y acosada por su color de piel. The drums and the dancing that healed mis antepasados, my ancestors, carry energy that heals my traumas. The rhythm, the movement, ground me in my past. When I call my ancestors, they give me strength to give voice to those who have been silenced for too long.
Haiti a commencé une révolte contre blanc français 200 ans de ça. C'est ça fait Haïti, c'est la première nation noire qui est indépendante. Ça a passé ici aux États-Unis, soudainement, ça, c'est témoignage, bataille, lutte, tout nègre noir dans le monde. C'est témoignage force surtout. Pendant toute l'histoire à Haïti, musique et danse, c'est toujours fait partie de la manifestation. Musique et danse, c'est représenter symbole liberté, mais symbole victoire tout. Même gens avec groupe ça Yanvalou, nous pas qu'à séparer deux bagages ça. Musique et danse, c'est façon ça pour nous exprimer nous, c'est façon pour nous représenter nous. So, Kembe fem palagi.
Service la commencé, alors koja hunga mwana batayo.
Service la commencé, alors koja.
I hope you have a vision that is unclouded by cynicism and fear.
Service la commencé, alors koja hunga mwana batayo.
You were chosen to follow the footsteps of leaders who shook the status quo to the core. Did you know that even after you sold Benin, your people, across borders, they still sang for you, about you? Across the sea, their vibrations rang. Did you hear them in your dreams? How long did it take for you to sing back?
In order to rise from its own ashes, a phoenix first must burn. Octavia Butler.
Go within every day and find the inner strength so that the world will not blow your candle out. And across the sea and all the geographic boundaries, your captives became your people, and your people praised your God, our God.
You may encounter many defeats, but you must not be defeated.
Despair is a tool of your enemies. Facing the realities of our lives gives us motivation for action. For you are not powerless. You know why the hard questions must be asked.
Maybe you did not know that you traded their breath for gold. And despite our bodies being sold, we stand and walk, we fight and march. We made ourselves free. We passed down your bowl.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. I hope you are all doing well tonight, actually. I'm streaming live to all of you today, if you didn't know that. I'm so glad to see you all. Or at least I'm really glad that you're here and watching us tonight. Tonight I'm going to sing a song called Toi Fais. And if you've been to our concerts, you've probably heard the song before. And even if you haven't been to our concerts before, I hope you can join me in the song and singing along. Thank you. Toi fais, toi racino, je t'ai oublié, ramasse songer. Toi fais, toi racino, je t'ai oublié, ramasse songer. Moi gen basen moi, toi fais tomber la dent. Je t'ai oublié, ramasse songer. Moi gen basen moi, toi fais tomber la dent. Je t'ai oublié, ramasse songer. Thank you. Aïe Bobo.
Hi, Yanvalou, Professor Fitzpatrick, wishing you a happy 30th. Love, light, and peace. Love you.
Yanvalou was one of my first homes at Wellesley. There's this special feeling you get when you show up at Yanvalou, even for the first time. It's this glow. It's incredible. Yanvalou holds no judgment and no conditions in recognizing our shared humanity. It tells you, you belong here. And that, to me, is what liberation means, too. It's this long sought after feeling of finally finding a place or helping to create a place in which you are unconditionally seen.
So what does Yanvalou mean to me? For me, Yanvalou has proven to be home. It has proven to be a safe space for me. And even though I wander off a lot to chase other things, I know the road that leads me back home to Yanvalou. And it's not just about the crazy singing or the dancing dance moves or the sweet drumming or the super amazing people or the colorful dashikis. You know, it's not about the amazing costumes. It's not about the vibe. It's not just about the vibe that makes it feel like home. It's about everything, the combination of everything, all in a limited space. So yeah, Yanvalou feels like home to me.
My name is Awino. I'm from Kenya. I'm a student at Wellesley College and I'm a member of the Yanvalou Drum and Dance Ensemble. I joined Yanvalou after the Haiti winter session trip in January 2019, where I traveled to Haiti for about 3 weeks learning about Haitian folkloric music and dance. And I was learning like the theory part and also the practical part, learning dancing and drumming, and also I was connecting a lot of what I was learning to my African culture. And you know, one thing that really shook me is the moment I went to Haiti. I felt like an instant connection, a sense of home, a sense of belonging. I felt like I was safe, and I had been in the US for like a semester and I had never felt anything like that. And I really appreciated having this trip and learning so much that I hadn't been taught in school. So after this trip, I went back to Wellesley and joined the Yanvalou Drum and Dance Ensemble. So the ensemble does music and dances from Haiti, Brazil, Uganda, Zimbabwe, and Ghana. And I love the fact that it does so many diverse things, connects like Black experiences from all over the world, and I'm able to not only just drum or dance or sing, but also learn about these cultures, just understand what I'm doing and why it's important that it needs to be done. And I love the fact that Yanvalou exists for people like me. Yanvalou is a home, and Yanvalou is a family to me, and I love the fact that I can just, every time I go there, I can forget about everything else that's happening out there in Wellesley, out there in the world, and just connect with my inner sense, drum, and you know, like I use that to like sort of center myself back, and it's very peaceful, like it's almost magical. And I love the fact that it's a space that exists. And yeah, so Yanvalou is we're celebrating our 30th anniversary, guys. Like 30 years Yanvalou has existed in Wellesley, and I love the fact that it's there, and we should continue to support it.
Yanvalou has really been my home at Wellesley. It was always like a sort of grounding force, especially like when everything is so crazy. I know I can always like go to Yanvalou twice a week and feel like at peace. And it was the only place where I felt like comfortable, where I could be like more myself, and where I feel like I discovered my found family at Wellesley. Being in Yanvalou, aside from that, was also the first time I really embodied the idea that my Haitian culture and my ancestors were beautiful. In that sense, it was very healing and peaceful. Being at Yanvalou filled me with this deep sense of ancestral memory. Even rhythms and dances from like other parts of the diaspora felt as if they were already part of me. When I drum, I feel like I'm calling back to some part of myself I've forgotten.
I am grateful that Yanvalou welcomed me into a space where I could study and appreciate the beautiful and rich traditions in the African diaspora. It is also through the same lens that I explored my own culture roots and my relationship with my ancestors. I was fortunate to have grown up in my motherland, where I was free to love and be proud of my culture and heritage. However, the enslaved people were kidnapped from their homes, and their descendants were forced to live in oppressive systems where it's nearly impossible to honor who they are. Yet in Yanvalou, I was once and again humbled by Black people's power and resilience to hold on to their cultural roots and their spiritual connections to their ancestors. In Yanvalou, we study songs with different drum parts, each with its own rhythm and role in the dialogues. And like the diverse and beautiful cultures in the diaspora, together they create one unified, sophisticated, and powerful sound. Yanvalou was my first home at Wellesley, and it is one of the many reasons why I feel obligated to be an ally to the Black Lives Matter and the police and prison abolishment movements. I would like to express solidarity in my mother tongue. 生命无价，黑人的命与我们的命一样无比珍贵。
Which brings us back to where we started and where we will end. With the Creator, we pour. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Ashe.
Pas manger ananas, pas fumer cigarette. Pas manger cocoyer qui j'en fait manquer. 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 Pas manger cocoyer qui j'en.
I'm not ready for it to end. Are you? Well, normally our question now is, when will we see you again? And we usually ask that question in the song Wangol. Wangolo wale, kilewa vini wemanko wale. It's a song that's a traditional Haitian song that usually asks those Haitians in the diaspora, when are we going to see you again? And we use it with Yanvalou members, with alums, to ask them, when are we going to see you again? So now we have that question for you. As Papi Toto says, once a Yanvalou, always a Yanvalou. Papi Toto, ayibobo. Olivia, why don't you go ahead and we'll get Papi Toto.
Culture is our first line of defense in our struggle for freedom. So it's like, you want to go, Papi Toto?
Okay, we are blessed, wonderful, and to have participated in this celebration of 30 years of Yanvalou, 30 pour 30. So we wish many more Record Cafe. Wangalo wale, Kilewa vini wemoko wali. Wangalo wale. Kilewa vini wemoko wale. Kilewa vini wemoko. Il a changé. Kilewa vini wemoko. Il a changé. Kilewa vini wemoko wale. Aïe, boubou.
Culture is our first line of defense in our struggle for freedom. So we hope, we know that we have to and we must, and it is our duty to continue on this legacy. Our culture is resistance and we are resilient. So we hope to see you on Tuesdays at 5:30 and
So don't forget, Tuesdays at 5:30, we will be meeting on Zoom, so you can easily join us. And I'd like to thank everyone who has helped and joined us throughout this journey, making this virtual concert and participating in Yanvalou last semester and this year as well. I'd like to thank all of the members of Yanvalou, past, present, and future. And I'd also like to thank our choreographers, Mr. P. Peniel, as well as Isara, for guiding us and helping us, and to Kera and Papi Toto for making all of this possible, and to everyone who was watching. Thank you.
We'd like to thank everybody in the music department for supporting us, for keeping us going, especially Isabel Fine, who makes all of these live streams happen. Thank you so much. We hope to see you on Tuesdays at 5:30. We are meeting on Zoom every week, so come join us. And now we say goodbye. Is that right? Ayi bobo. We'll see you next term.
Ayi bobo.